It all starts with a whisper. A story told around a crackling fire, the words carried on the wind like ancient secrets. In the remote, untamed corners of northern Iran, they speak of a ghost, a phantom that walks the Hyrcanian forests, a place so old it survived the Ice Age. They say the Caspian tiger, a magnificent beast declared extinct for half a century, still roams these misty mountains. Most scientists have written it off, but the locals? Old woodsmen. Shepherds whose families have lived here for 1,000 years. They see the signs. They hear the sounds. A low, guttural roar, not a wolf, not a bear, echoing through the valleys on the coldest nights. This mission isn't just about adventure, it's about hope. Could such a powerful creature truly have vanished without a trace? Or did it retreat into the deepest, most inaccessible pockets of wilderness, far from the reach of man? The stories were too compelling to ignore. Massive pug marks found in the mud after a spring thaw. Deer carcasses dragged high into the cliffs. These weren't campfire tales, eyewitness accounts, passed down with solemn gravity. The challenge was immense, the odds stacked against us. But the possibility, however slim, pulled me in. My team and I knew the risks. Iran's northern frontier is a formidable wilderness. Jagged peaks, dense, dark forests, raging rivers. This is not a place for the unprepared. The terrain is a killer, the weather a fickle beast, the wilderness full of danger. But the lure of the unknown is the strongest force I know. Setting foot where this predator might still hold territory was intoxicating. We were chasing more than an animal, a symbol of wildness, a vanishing world, a hunt for a ghost, a quest for a second chance. So we began. First step, belief. You have to believe in the impossible. The first day of the trek was a baptism by fire, or rather by mud and mist. The Hyrcanian forest doesn't welcome you, it swallows you whole. We left the last vestiges of civilization behind, and within minutes, the world transformed. The air grew heavy, thick with the smell of decaying leaves and damp soil, a scent as old as time itself. Giant beech, oak, ironwood trees formed a cathedral-like canopy so dense that it blocked out the sun, plunging the forest floor into a perpetual twilight. The silence was profound, broken only by the drip of water, and the squelch of our boots. There were no trails, only faint animal tracks that we followed through the undergrowth. We had to climb over moss-covered fallen giants, and push our way through thickets of ferns and thorny bushes that tore at our clothes and skin. The ground was a treacherous web of gnarled roots, perfect for twisting an ankle. Reza moved with a silent, fluid grace, a ghost in his own forest, while we city dwellers lumbered behind. By midday, the mist rolled in, reducing visibility to just a few feet. A snapping twig could be a deer, or it could be something much larger, watching us from the shroud of white. We had to rely completely on our compass and Reza's unerring sense of direction. Setting up was a race against the fading light and the dropping temperature. As I gathered firewood, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The forest had eyes, and it knew we were here. Our route took us deeper and lower into the valley system, following the path of a stream, into a torrent. On the morning of the fourth day, a raging river that sliced through the canyon like a knife. This was the river of no return that Reza had warned us about. We spent hours scouting the riverbank, offering no easy passage. Finally, we found our only chance, a massive ancient tree, a natural, albeit terrifying bridge. One slip, and the river would swallow you without a trace. Reza went first, moving with the sure-footedness of a mountain goat. Then it was my turn. My foot slipped. I caught my balance, and continued until I felt solid ground beneath my feet. The forest on the far side of the river was a different world. It was here that we found our first real sign. It was a footprint, a pug mark. And it was huge. It was far too large for a Persian leopard, the only other large cat known to exist in these mountains. The print was deep, the edges still sharp. It was the size of a dinner plate. We mixed the plaster and poured it gently into the impression, creating a perfect cast that would serve as undeniable evidence. A few yards away, deep, parallel claw marks, at least 7 feet off the ground. Whatever made these marks was colossal, powerful, and had been marking its territory. That night, the forest came alive with sound, but underneath, a low, resonant sound that seemed to vibrate through the ground itself. It wasn't a growl, not quite a roar, a deep, guttural moan. "Sure," he whispered, the Farsi word for lion, but used here for tiger. It was a sound of immense power and loneliness. The sounds continued, before fading into the distance. We were close, incredibly close. The plaster cast, a tangible link to this ghost. The mission had transformed. We were now actively tracking a living, breathing Caspian tiger. With the footprint and the vocalizations, our strategy shifted. Reza found a faint trail leading away from the spring, onto a high, windswept ridge that offered a panoramic view. The air was thinner here, the wind sharp and cold. It was a large red deer, its neck broken cleanly, hauled up a steep, rocky incline. A leopard would struggle. A bear would have left a different kind of mess. This was the work of an animal with immense strength. A distinct, musky scent hung in the air. It was fresh, and could still be nearby. We knew this was the perfect place to set up our camera traps, concealing the small, silent cameras so they were virtually invisible. We retreated to a safe distance. The anticipation was almost unbearable. We barely slept that night. Our minds raced with what the morning might bring. The wait was agonizing. At the first hint of dawn, we moved back toward the kill site. The air was still and cold. The deer carcass had been moved. More of it had been consumed. Something had definitely been here. My hands trembled retrieving the camera trap. I held my breath and pressed play. The first clips, leaves blowing. Then a small fox. Maybe it was just a bear. Maybe the silhouette was a trick of the light. And then, it happened. The screen flickered. An animal walked into frame. It was unmistakable, huge, powerful, majestic. It was a tiger. It moved with silent confidence. Its massive paws made no sound. Its coat, a beautiful reddish gold. Its stripes, dark and dense. A Caspian tiger, alive in the 21st century. The video was clear, sharp, a ghost made real. We were speechless. Tears welled in my eyes. We replayed the footage, mesmerized. The tiger was a magnificent male in its prime. Then it settled to feed. The second camera, a different angle showing full scale. The creature of legend was real. The implications were staggering. A species declared extinct was alive. A moment that would rewrite biology textbooks. It was a miracle, elation and a heavy sense of responsibility. We had found it. We had the proof. But now what? The world would want to know. Scientists, governments, poachers. This animal, possibly the last of its kind, its survival depended on secrecy and protection. Our mission shifted, find it, then protect it. We would share our findings only with a small, trusted group of conservationists, the Iranian Department of Environment, under the strictest conditions of secrecy. The tiger's life depended on it. This single animal represents hope on a global scale. We had stumbled on one of the planet's most precious secrets. Now we were its guardians. This creature was more than just a magnificent predator. It was a keystone species, the master architect of this entire ecosystem. For thousands of years, the Caspian tiger shaped this forest. By preying on the large herbivores like red deer, wild boar, it kept their populations in check. Its presence ensured the health and vitality of the entire food web, from the tallest ironwood tree to the smallest insect. Its disappearance was not just the loss of one species, but the unraveling of a complex tapestry. Its survival here explained why this part of the Hyrcanian forest felt so uniquely wild and balanced. If these forests are cut down for timber, if new roads are carved through these valleys, if human encroachment continues, the tiger will have nowhere left to go. This time, its extinction would be final. Protecting the animal means protecting its home. Massive, contiguous tracts of land, free from human interference, where it can roam, hunt, find a mate. This is not a creature that can be saved in a zoo. Its spirit is woven from the very fabric of this wild land. Our discovery placed an immense weight on our shoulders. It would be the biggest biological story of the century. But we knew that fame would be a death sentence for the tiger. The moment its location was known, it would become the target of poachers. Even well-intentioned ecotourism could disrupt its life. The trek out of the valley was different. The forest no longer felt menacing. It felt sacred. Every ancient tree, every rushing stream, every shadow was part of the kingdom we now had a duty to protect. We carried with us not just plaster casts and memory cards, but a secret that was both a treasure and a burden. Leaving the tiger's world behind was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. We would not fail you. Humanity is a part of nature, not apart from it. These wild places are vital organs of our planet. My call to you is simple. It's a call to respect the wild. You can start in your own backyard, in your local park, in the choices you make every day. Support organizations. Demand action. Teach your children to love and respect nature. We must become guardians, not conquerors. The memory of that silhouette, the footage of that magnificent tiger, will stay with me forever. Adventure is about discovering and protecting the wonders of the natural world. The Caspian tiger is out there, a symbol of nature's incredible will to survive.